Do you wake up in the morning feeling more tired than when you went to bed? Do you feel the boogeyman is robbing you of your sleep? And you feel the only place to turn is drugs, alcohol, and gimmicky solutions. And once you realize they robbed you of all your money and your pocketbook, you still feel like a zombie? Don't allow business conglomerates and your consumer mindset trick you into believing you can't manage your health and you need some magic pill, pillow, or special mattress to save you.
We're here to tell you your body isn't complicated. Apply these back-to-basic tips and take back control of your health to regain your well-deserved sleep.
I'm Dr. Dusty.
And I'm Ray, and here are the top 7 proven ways to improve your sleep.
Also, make sure you stick around to the end because we're going to be answering all the commonly asked sleep questions our patients ask us in the clinic today.
Our first tip is the foundation of all the other tips.
It's setting your bedtime and your wake-up time.
And keeping it.
Setting a bedtime and a wake-up time is the foundation for all the other tips we're going to be talking about. Whether you're thinking about what you should eat or what social activities you should be doing or whether you should exercise at a certain time, it all wraps around when you go to bed and when you wake up. And your body is a fine-tuned machine. When you go to bed, it starts to produce a lot of different hormones to help rebuild and rejuvenate your body. And when you wake up in the morning, it starts to say, hey, now it's time to enter into the day. So it gets into this rhythm called the circadian rhythm. And you do that over and over and over again, it starts to become this well-oiled machine, and it starts to produce more hormones at night, and it starts to then support you more during the day. So it's vitally important for the rest of our tips that we have today that you set a bedtime and a wake-up time and stick to it.
Now that you've established your bedtime and wake-up time, let's talk about all the things you need to do during the day in order to get a good night's sleep.
Number 2 is exercise. Exercise is a stimulant and helps your body release endorphins, which reinforce your body's circadian rhythm. And since it's a stimulant, it's better to exercise in the morning or afternoon, not right before bed.
Exercise increases your body's temperature, which can cause a relaxing effect as your body cools down at night.
And physical activity improves the quality and quantity of your sleep. Just think the harder you stimulate during the day, the harder you will go down at night.
Even just 5 or 10 minutes can make a dream of a difference.
Have a movement mindset throughout your day. Number 3 is diet. Yes, that's right. What you eat, when you eat, and how much you eat can all affect your sleep.
Avoid eating too late or too much. When you sleep, your body's able to clean house. If you eat right before bed or eat too much, your body has to digest that food instead of resting and restoring as it wants to.
Do you have pain when you sleep? Pain and chronic inflammation can keep you up at night, and what you eat can help manage your pain. Check out our anti-inflammatory foods video if this is something that you need help with.
Also avoid caffeine a minimum of 6 hours before you sleep. Caffeine is found in coffee, sodas, caffeinated teas, and energy drinks. Number 4, get outside.
Sun exposure affects serotonin levels, which help you regulate your body's natural circadian rhythm as well.
When you're outside, you're usually moving. So again, stimulate during the day, rejuvenate at night. Number 5 is lighting. Make sure to dim your lights at night.
You know, when we go outside, the sun hits our eyes and it basically stimulates our bodies to say it's time to be awake. And that's why we create a darker environment to allow for our eyes to tell our body that it's time to produce that melatonin, and then we start to get into a slumber. So we want to make sure that we support that, and that also goes for any other devices or anything that might stimulate a sun. For example, cell phones, tablets, computers, or fluorescent light bulbs above your head. Make sure you take care of all the lighting in your bedroom as well as leading up to bedtime to tell yourself that it's time for bed. Number 6 is temperature. It was Dr. Jus von Summerin's research that actually concluded that 65 degrees was actually the most ideal temperature for sleeping.
Your body naturally cools down at night, so by setting your room temperature at 65 degrees is a way to support your sleep.
If you don't want to leave the air conditioner on all night, there's so many other ways to support your temperature. From bedding and sheets and pillows and a fan in the room and overall mattress materials, there's so many different ways to regulate temperature.
Number 7 is pre-bedtime routine.
So you've been going all day. You've been working, you've been dealing with kids, you've been dealing with who knows what. But this time is the time that you slow down. It's the time to be intentional about this is the time where my body needs to regenerate. So save about 20 to 30 minutes before your bedtime and really start to dial down. This pre-bedtime routine is very powerful. And if you start to implement it right away, you can see changes as soon as 2-3 days.
A few ideas to include in your pre-bedtime routine would be meditation meditation, light yoga, maybe some stretching.
I love to do some deep breathing exercises and maybe a little bit of journaling. Stick around to the end of this video and we'll actually link to our next video where we talk about the perfect pre-bedtime routine. Now on to some questions.
If I put my phone on silent at night, what happens if someone needs to get a hold of me for an emergency? Apple and Android both have a feature that you can put your phone on Do Not Disturb, but if you've highlighted a specific person that person who probably would get a hold of you if there is an emergency, that call will actually go through. Can I sleep with my pet? Well, we're not going to tell you not to sleep with your pet, but the more that you sleep with your pet, probably the more interruptions you'll get. And kind of with newborns right now,
It's like sleeping with newborns.
all about interruptions. So you'll eventually become sleep deprived.
Yeah.
How much sleep do I really need?
Usually 7 to 9 hours, 8 hours on average. But that's typical for an average American because we usually are working all day and sleeping all night, or working all night like the grave shift and sleeping all day. It's called a monophasic sleep cycle. But there's a lot of other places in the world, maybe in Central America or South America, where you have more biphasic, or where they'll take siestas or naps in the afternoon, and that will kind of switch up with the amount of hours that you need at night, or maybe a few in the afternoon. And just as long as you're getting the proper number of sleep and good quality of sleep with those numbers of sleep, however you distribute it, it pans out in the end.
What sleep cycle are we on right now?
Yeah, we don't have a sleep cycle right now.
Is there such thing as a perfect mattress?
This is probably the most commonly asked question in the clinic today. Quite honestly, the answer is no, because it's so subjective. First, I would say go through all of these different tips before you start to blame your mattress for all of your sleeping problems, because that's usually the first thing that people go to is their mattress or their pillow. And there's so many other factors that you can do to be able to help you get better sleep. As far as a mattress, it's so subjective. So whatever your size is, we usually like to go off shirt size. So if you're a small, a medium, a large, or an extra, extra, extra large is going to help you determine what kind of firmness you want. Your sleep position, if you're a side sleeper, stomach sleeper, back sleeper, if you have sleep apnea or any occlusion in your throat where your tongue falls back, it's not good to sleep on your back. So then you can kind of determine that. And there's also different beds that help support those people with sleep apnea as well. As far as changing shape, temperature control is another thing to focus in on, because different materials as well as allergens, if you're allergic to anything, hypoallergenic materials, the list goes on and on. So it's so subjective. So the answer, in short, there's no such thing as a perfect mattress. As promised, here's our video on a perfect pre-bedtime routine. Take action, click, 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 click. You got this!